Hello guys. See, another important piece of information has been shared in the PIB website. Right. That is something related to export promotion from our country. You know very well the balance of trade and the balance of payments. You might be aware of already. We are facing severe problems in balance of trade. The two, especially with respect to export or in mercantilized trade. Okay, merchandise trade, we are facing severe deficit. That's to some extent is covered by invisibles. Okay, the earnings that we are making through export of software and software services, etc. So to bridge that gap, you see from the beginning itself, we are facing severe problems with respect to exports of goods because of that policy, the protectionist policy that we were following. We could never focus on the export of goods to other countries. Only after the 1991 economic reforms, we have realized the importance of exporting the goods. Okay, so of late we have realized that since then we are trying, okay, to improve the export of goods from our country, but still we are not able to see great success in that arena. So to actually realize that goal of exporting to other countries, we have started another mission, that is export promotion mission, which is actually announced in the previous year, 2025, and which is also once again mentioned in this year's budget. And this export promotion mission, it's giving primary preference or importance to the MSMEs, okay, and not for the big companies. Of course, big companies are also there. They also have to compete and export. But through this particular mission, there was more emphasis on MSMEs. Okay, right. With this introduction, we will see what is the information that is there in the document. See if you see the important takeaway points from this one. Export promotion mission. It is a flagship initiative to strengthen India's export ecosystem with the special focus on MSMEs, first-time exporters, and labor-intensive sectors. What are labor-intensive sectors? The sectors which employ more labor, the sectors like leather production, okay, maybe the other things like textiles, etc. These are labor-intensive sectors. Then, apart from this export promotion mission, several other additional interventions have been launched under this program only, advancing the mission towards a near complete operationalization. Okay. The program is implemented through two integrated sub-schemes, that is Niryat Protsahan and Niryat Disha. These are the two important components of this mission. In this document, we are going to study in detail about these two missions. And apart from that, there is a provision for financial support also. And non-financial export support is also there. Okay, Niryat Protsahan is actually financial support. Niryat Disha is all those non-financial aspects. Okay, the mission provides support for trade finance, export compliance, logistics, and overseas warehousing and market access. These are the key takeaways in this document. Okay, so if you see some introduction about this program, the India's export ecosystem is being strengthened through a mission mode approach. Okay, under the export promotion mission aimed at expanding global market access and enhancing competitiveness of Indian exports, particularly the MSME enterprises or MSM enterprises. Okay. You see, building on the interventions that were already taken, the government has now launched 7 additional interventions under this EPM export promotion mission, significantly expanding the scope of support across trade finance, compliance enablement, logistics, and overseas market access. Okay. So with these expansions, 10 interventions under the mission are now operations, marking a major milestone in the rollout of the EPM and reinforcing India's commitment to inclusive and export-led. If you have to see the details about export promotion mission, what is it? You see, it is a flagship initiative designed to promote coordinated support across key elements of the export ecosystem that includes trade finance, standards compliance, logistics, overseas warehousing, and market development. Okay, this particular scheme was approved by the Government of India in November 2025. And this mission brings together multiple export support measures under a single and unified and a digitally driven framework. So it's converging all the schemes that are there for promoting exports in our country. The budget outlay is total outlay for the scheme is 25,000 odd crore rupees for the period of 2025-26 to 2030-31. So for the 5 years, 25,000 crores have been allocated. Okay. What is the goal of this scheme? It seeks to enhance export competitiveness and expand India's global presence. That is the goal of the mission. You see, further, the mission is implemented through two integrated sub-schemes. One is the Niryat Protsahan, which focuses on financial enablers and trade finance support. And the second one is the Niryat Disha, which addresses non-financial market access and ecosystem enablers. So if you see the details of these two important sub-missions, the first one is Niryat Protsahan. It is driving trade finance access. The sub-components of it, if you see, bridging the trade finance gap with the timely and affordable and diversified credit instruments. Second one is interest subvention, providing interest subvention, collateral guarantee, credit enhancement, and risk sharing. Third component in it is alternative trade finance models to strengthen cash flows. These are the interventions that we are taking under Niryat Protsahan. Then if you see Niryat Disha, expanding holistic market access under it, the first intervention is addressing non-financial trade barriers, then strengthening the global presence of Indian goods and services, then facilitating compliance with the global standards, then international quality norms, then after that expanding strategic market access for Indian exports. Then the last one is promoting access to overseas warehousing facilities. These are the objectives of a Niryat Disha. Okay. You see this framework, export to promotion mission aims to achieve several things, including improve access to affordable and diversified trade finance, particularly for MSMEs and first-time exporters. Okay. Then support compliance with international quality, technical and sustainability standards, because most of the times our goods are rejected for the reason that they are not qualifying or fulfilling the international quality standards. Especially this problem we are facing in EU, European Union, and USA. Okay, many of our export goods are rejected by these two groups. Okay, and to address that, we are trying to establish a compliance support mechanism. Okay, then to strengthen export branding, logistics, and overseas warehousing capabilities. Then more apart from that, expand market access and trade intelligence support. Then enable broader participation of MSMEs, including growth of cross-border e-commerce exports. On all these things, we want to achieve by implementing these two sub-missions. Okay, right. If you see the export promotion mission and how it is a game changer for MSMEs, the scheme or this mission is adopting a whole of government approach by converging several things, including policy support, finance enablement, market readiness, and market linkages within a single institutional framework. Okay, so by reducing fragmentation in export support and strengthening delivery across the finance standards, logistics, and buyer connectivity, the EPM enables integrated export growth for MSMEs. So that is what you can see in this infographic also. Okay, so through this convergence driven and mission mode design, This mission is envisaged as a game changer in enabling MSMEs to scale up and sustain their participation in the global trade. Okay. Then, under this mission, end-to-end support is provided across the exporter journey. So, if you see, the export promotion mission delivers stage-wise support aligned to key phases of the export process, enabling the exporters to access appropriate assistance from early stage market exploration to post shipment activities and overseas market presence. Okay, so through these integrated interventions, the mission provides coordinated support for several things, including market and product analysis. Okay, so you can see the support ecosystem here: market and product analysis, pre-shipment export financing, trade compliance, EXIM logistics, export and import logistics, then post-shipment export finance. Okay, so in all these segments, the support or assistance will be provided under this mission. Okay, so if you see the progress under this mission until now, the interventions that you see in expansion of this program or expansion of the assistance, you see, prior to the latest launch, the three key interventions that were there under the export promotion mission were they are already operational, providing support to the exporters. Okay. Then further, there is a launch of seven additional interventions, and that mark a significant expansion of this mission. Okay. So if you see those seven new interventions, four of them have been taken under Niryat Disha, and three of them have taken under Niryat Protsahan. So the new interventions in Niryat Disha are trade regulations, accreditation, and compliance enablement, trace, the paraphrase for it is trace, then logistics and interventions for freight and transport, lift. Okay. Then third intervention is integrated support for trade intelligence and facilitation, insight. And the fourth one under Niryat Disha is facilitating logistics, overseas warehousing and fulfillment flow. These are the four interventions under Niryat Disha. Non-financial aspects. Then if you see the interventions or initiatives under Niryat Protsahan, support for alternative trade instruments, support factoring, that is done through or based on export factoring. We will see what is export factoring a little bit later. Second initiative is support for emerging export opportunities, and the third one is credit assistance for e-commerce exporters. Okay, these are the initiatives taken under Niryat Protsahan. Okay. If we see the financial enablers under Niryat Protsahan, you see this program addresses access to finance constraints faced by exporters, particularly MSMEs, by providing timely, affordable, and diversified trade finance instruments. Okay. So we have already seen the interventions that have been launched under this program. First one is support for alternative trade instruments. That is done through export factoring. You see, the intervention promotes export factoring as an affordable and accessible trade finance instrument for MSMEs, with the objective of unlocking working capital and ensuring smoother business cycles. Okay. If you read further, support under this component is available to MSME exporters undertaking mercantile exports under the notified list of 6-digit tariff lines. Okay. Export factoring services are provided through registered export factoring forms. Okay, if you see under this intervention, interest subvention of 2.75% is provided on the factoring cost, subjected to a maximum of 50 lakh rupees. Okay, for every IEC, Indian Exporting Company. Okay. So if you try and understand what is export factoring, you see it is a financial tool that allows exporters to receive immediate cash by selling their export receivables to a financial institution. Then it provides working capital support, helps manage payment risks, and forms a part of government-backed export finance support for MSMEs. So you can understand it's like the trades platform that is there for MSMEs, MSME enterprises uh, within our country. Okay, so they can pledge their these invoices and in the trades platform, the MSMEs in the trades platform, and they can get credit. So export factoring is also something like that, but it is available to MSME exporters. Okay. Right. Second initiative is credit assistance for e-commerce exporters. You see, this support is available to MSME e-commerce exporters with a valid IAC and Udyam registration, as well as for new MSME exporters with the prior domestic e-commerce turnover of at least 1 year. Okay. This intervention is implemented through Export-Import Bank of India, Exim Bank. So if you see little bit understand more about this intervention or this initiative, it provides credit facilities to MSME exporters to meet working capital requirements for exports through postal, courier, and overseas inventory-based fulfillment channels. Okay, for them this is available. You see, under this component, a direct e-commerce credit facility providers up to 90% guarantee coverage, capped at 50 lakh, while the overseas inventory e-commerce credit facility provides up to 75% guarantee coverage, capped at 5 crore. Okay. Moreover, interest subvention is also available of 2.75% on eligible financing is provided subject to an annual ceiling of 15 lakh rupees per applicant. Okay. Third initiative is support for emerging export opportunities. This intervention enables MSME exporters to expand into new high-risk export markets through access to shared risk and credit instruments. Okay. Then if you see some data, risk sharing support ranging from 10 to 90% of the transaction value is provided based on the defined risk model. Okay, so these are the interventions that have been taken and their explanation under Niryat Protsahan. Okay, Niryat Protsahan, and under it already started interventions are there. First one is interest subvention for pre and post shipment export credit, that is there. What it is, this intervention provides interest subvention support on pre and post shipment export credit availed by MSME exporters. This is with the objective of reducing the cost of export finance and improving working capital liquidity. Okay. Then another intervention already in operation is collateral support for export credit. This intervention facilitates collateral-free access to formal export credit for MSME exporters by providing credit guarantee support to lending institutions. Okay. Then we will come to Niryat Disha, that is non-financial and market access enablers for MSMEs. So it is a non-financial enablers sub-scheme under the EPM Export Promotion Mission. This sub-scheme focuses on addressing non-financial trade barriers faced by exporters and strengthens global presence of Indian goods and services. Okay. The rest of the details we have seen. Through the interventions, Niryat Disha supports exporters in improving market readiness, enhancing trade visibility, integrating logistics-related disadvantages, or mitigating logistics-related disadvantages, and strengthening institutional and information support systems across the export ecosystem. Then if you see the newly launched interventions under Niryat Disha, first one is trade regulations, accreditation, and compliance enablement, that is a stress. Okay, this intervention provides financial support to exporters to meet international testing, inspection, certification, and other conformity requirements are necessary for accessing global markets. Then the support under trace is available to MSME exporters with a valid import-export code, okay, importer-exporter code, and a valid MSME Udyam registration number. Okay. Then next initiative, you see logistics interventions for freight and transport lift. This intervention mitigates geographical disadvantages and inland connectivity gaps faced by exporters located in hinterland regions by providing support to reduce transportation and logistics costs. You see, transportation and logistics cost is also one of the major hindrances hindrance for our exporters in our country. The logistics costs amount to 14% of the export cost. Ideally, it should be somewhere around 6 to 7%. Okay, to address that particular problem, the LIFT initiative has been started. Okay, under this, financial support up to 30% of the actual cost incurred for availing eligible transport services is provided, subjected to a cap of maximum of 20 lakh exporter per financial year. Third intervention is integrated support for trade intelligence and facilitation inside. It aims to strengthen exporter preparedness and develop institutional support systems by addressing information asymmetries and capacity gaps within the export ecosystem. Okay, and these also some support up to 50% of the approved project cost is provided for eligible activities, subjected to prescribed savings for each category. Okay. Then fourth intervention is facilitating logistics, overseas warehousing and fulfillment flow. This intervention addresses logistics and warehousing constraints faced by exporters by enabling access to overseas storage, distribution and fulfillment infrastructure, thereby supporting faster, more reliable and cost-effective exports. You see, support under flow is available to export promotion councils, commodity boards, logistics, warehousing and fulfillment service providers, industry associations, and organizations are recommended by central or state government. Okay, right. You see, financial assistance under this component is provided for a maximum period of 3 years. Support is available for the following categories. Okay, all these 4 to 5 categories support is available. Along with that, one more intervention is already in operation under this Niryat Disha program, that is market access support, MAS. What it is, it facilitates the conduct of market access activities aimed at developing, expanding and sustaining international markets, thereby enabling market diversification and enhancing international visibility of Indian products and services. Okay. Procedure for application is also described, but I think you need not go through that. For Niryat Protsahan, under Niryat Protsahan, if you have to apply under it, this is the process. This is the process. First one is stage one is intent to claim. Then second one is exporter shares the UIN with the lending institutions. Then claim submission. Third stage is claim submission. If you have to see the application process under the submission Niryat Disha, okay, there is stage one, that is intended to claim. Okay, then second stage is reimbursement claim. Okay, these two stages are there. Okay, if you see the process for obtaining assistance for proposal-based interventions, here also under various stages you can apply and get the benefit. This procedure is explained, but you need not worry that much about the procedure as to how to apply and get them. Here you have to focus on these things. What are the interventions that are available or that are initiated and proposed to be initiated? About them you have to know. Okay. If not, you are unable to remember everything, at least you remember these two components, that is Niryat Disha and Niryat Protsahan, and you try and remember the names of the interventions that have been proposed to be taken. The 7 new initiatives and 3 already existing initiatives, at least you try to remember them. They might be asked in the examination, especially in the prelims examination. And the rest of the information, you can use it definitely when you are writing an answer on the exports. Okay, definitely you can expect a question on the exports, especially the mercantile exports. Okay, merchandise exports, because always we are facing a problem in this area. So definitely you can expect a question. Okay, so try and remember this information, which is very, very important. Okay, so that's it for today. See you next time. Until then, you have a very good time. See you next time.